This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu, Prime Minister of Africa, for africaparliament.gov. It's law now for everybody working in every mine to be able to wear protective clothing and have protective scaffolding correctly done, so we don't have death traps and death holes in Africa anymore. Looking at the situation, especially in Kivu, especially in Ghana, especially in the Gold Coast areas of where these issues most lie, the protective clothing will help many, save the lives of many people, even in our everyday work. This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu for africaparliament.gov. This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu, Prime Minister of Africa, for africaparliament.gov. Disability Act 2016 protects the disabled in Africa, especially those living in the slums, especially those living in the most impoverished area. A deficit is called out to be able to help them. And also architecturally, we'll be looking at how to best befit architecture to accommodate disabilities in our new builds. This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu for africaparliament.gov. This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu, Prime Minister of Africa, for africaparliament.gov. It's the law now in Africa to not smoke in nightclubs. Smoke inhalation kills many people. Smoking during pregnancy also kills many people. So, as we begin to consider this law and how it will best affect us, I can quietly assure you it will bring us good health. This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu for africaparliament.gov. This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu, Prime Minister of Africa, for africaparliament.gov. We are the Slavery Free Day, and we also yelled out Brexit. We also considered the fact that VE Day had come upon us. But one other thing is to be able to say no to child abuse and no to child sex offenders in Africa. For those who are in occupancy in the last sex tourism acts against children in Africa will be registered under the Sex Offenders Act to be able to leave Africa. And many false charities who also practice these issues will also have to leave Africa. This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu for africaparliament.gov. This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu, Prime Minister of Africa, building her Royal Africa, New Africa, her Royal Africa. This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu, Prime Minister of Africa, for africaparliament.gov. We are now ex-Victoria. Victorianism and industrialism was not always best for Africa, but the reconstruction of Africa and the rejected areas of the ex-Commonwealth allows us to be able to rebuild Africa more correctly, especially in the FTC and especially in places where the Commonwealth fell short. The new Africa can now accommodate for those areas. This is Queen Africa Nancy Mpanzu for africaparliament.gov.